COVID-19, let's discuss. Was you pro-vaccination or against? If you remember beforehand, you was vilified and targeted if you wasn't vaccinated. It would be anything from going to the gym for a restaurant you wouldn't be allowed in. They started COVID passports. Did you work? Didn't you work? Was you angry you couldn't attend funerals? Can you remember the Boris scandal with the parties? There's so many things. The meter rule, you still can see today the barriers in place at shops. Sanitizer was a fortune. A lot of companies with their reputation still haven't recovered. A lot of people, including myself, worked all through COVID, and as soon as it was over for an internet company, then we all got made redundant. It was all to do with profits. The government themselves even got done with a scandal, if you remember, with PPI. The government themselves also got done for PPE, if you remember. It was just a disaster. However, we did get actually something beneficial more than other countries when we started the vaccine rollout ourselves, way ahead of everyone else. Do you think it was part of control, or do you think there was actually a pandemic? Myself, I won't talk about if I had the vaccination or not, but the more it comes out, the more it turns out a lot of us was lied to regarding this, and now it's just like the flu. It doesn't even matter if you've got it. Companies still let you go to work, make you go to work. I just want to know how it can go from death's doors to it's fine now. I just think that's crazy. Myself, I do believe it was a horrible pandemic. I lost quite a lot of family members regarding it. It's been tough. It was tough for all of us. Mental health is still not the same, and they're coming after us now, saying a lot of too many people's on the sick. And again, this is due to mental health. Even if you're not a mental health advocate, can you remember how you felt during COVID, just being locked away? It was brutal. It really was. I don't know how people can do job seekers. I really don't. I know some people can't help being on job seekers, but my point being is it was very hard. The fact that people was getting fined for going to see loved ones, going to care homes, you wasn't allowed. And the nurses, just phenomenal, talk about being a strain. It was just brutal, wasn't it? And now that they asked for a pay rise, we just said no. Well, we didn't, the government did. There's so many thoughts I've got regarding this. But my main question to you today is how did it make you feel, the whole thing? I mean, did you work for a company that wasn't forthcoming? Do you know people who committed fraud regarding it whilst we was all in it together? We wasn't, was we? It was different rules for other people. You only had to see. I mean, it was one of the reasons that Boris got took down, wasn't it? And Dominic Cummings saying he had to go and check his eyes. It's just laughable. Whilst the rest of us, and you see people. I mean, remember the Queen? She couldn't even go to her own husband's funeral. Sit next to loved ones. She was there by herself. People also thought it was a 5G conspiracy. How they was doing all the networks up, and was it there just to control us? Giving fines out like they were sweet rappers. If you questioned it, you was a loony. It was a mob mentality brigade, wasn't it? People are probably still scared for their lives. It was very much, it was just brutal. I can't just say that enough. The media was very much behind it. I remember listening to a lot of disinformation as well from both sides. The fact of if you had the vaccine, you couldn't get it. Can you remember that? That was a big thing. And after about the 4th or 5th, I mean, they're still offering them as well. The jabs, that is. Track and trace was a joke. It really was. That's why I get so annoyed when they're saying we haven't got any money for services, and yet they spent billions of pounds on it, and it just failed here in the UK. I'm pretty sure there's something similar in the US and other European countries. The only one I can remember who didn't do anything was Belarus. If you remember, they just carried on playing football and saying drink vodka. Donald Trump saying inject bleach. It was just a different level, weren't it, guys? However, again, what did you do during COVID? Did you think it was a scandal? Did you think it was all made up? Was it from China? Was it about? Yeah, there's so many unanswered questions, and it's like we all just forgot about it. So again, just let me know in the comments below. Thank you. And again, if you can follow, subscribe, share and comment, it really makes a difference, especially at this level. I'd love to go live on TikTok, but you can't until you get 1,000 followers. So you're like, I don't know. Just literally, it's free content. Thank you so much again. And if you finish the end, you really are a legend. A legend. A blah blah blah. A legend. Thanks. And also, don't forget, if you will, TNM Ball YouTube. Subscribe.